Welcome to a journey through history, to the heart of South Africa, where one man's courage reshaped a nation and inspired the world. This man, Nelson Mandela, stood as a beacon of hope against a backdrop of oppression, challenging the very foundations of apartheid with unwavering resolve. His story is not just one of struggle, but of triumph, transformation, and the enduring power of the human spirit. We could all learn a lesson or two from this legend. Today, we delve deep into the life of Nelson Mandela, from his royal lineage in a small village to becoming a global icon of peace and reconciliation. How did a boy called Rolilala, meaning pulling the branch of a tree, or colloquially troublemaker, become a symbol of freedom as the revered Madiba? Join us as we uncover the chapters of Mandela's life, marked by adversity, resilience, and ultimate victory. In the rolling hills of the Eastern Cape, in the small village of Mvezo, a future global icon was born in 1918. Rolilala Mandela, later known as Nelson, entered a world divided by deep racial lines under the shadow of apartheid, South Africa's institutionalized system of racial segregation and oppression. As a child of the Thembu royal family, young Mandela was destined for leadership, though not yet in the way history would remember him. Amidst the early stirrings of his education, Mandela once reflected, "It always seems impossible until it's done." This belief would guide him through the most challenging periods of his life. Educated at the University College of Fort Hare and later at the University of Witwatersrand, Mandela was a standout student, not just academically, but as a budding activist against the racial injustices that plagued his country. It was in Johannesburg where Mandela's political journey truly began. Here, he not only completed his law degree, but also encountered the harsh realities of apartheid as a young black lawyer. He witnessed firsthand the oppression and brutality inflicted upon his people, which galvanized his resolve. Joining the African National Congress in 1943, Mandela quickly rose to prominence within the party, advocating for civil disobedience and non-violent protests against the racist policies of the government. His leadership in the ANC's 1952 defiance campaign marked him as a formidable opponent to apartheid, attracting national attention and the ire of the ruling authorities. Mandela's commitment to the cause came with steep personal sacrifices. In 1962, after years of surveillance, he was arrested by the South African government. His trial captured the world's attention, leading to a conviction of life imprisonment for his anti-apartheid activities. Mandela would spend the next 27 years confined in the small cells of various prisons, most notoriously Robben Island. The isolation of prison could not silence Mandela. From his tiny cell, he continued to be a beacon of hope and resistance, inspiring not just fellow prisoners, but also global movements advocating for his release and the end of apartheid. His fortitude in the face of such adversity was a testament to his character and commitment to justice. The pressure both within South Africa and internationally grew until it reached a tipping point. In 1990, the government, now led by F.W. de Klerk, was forced to release Mandela amid escalating civil strife and international sanctions. His release after nearly 3 decades was a symbolic moment for freedom fighters everywhere. The next chapter of Mandela's life began with his release, as he led negotiations to dismantle apartheid and usher in a new era of democracy in South Africa. In 1994, he achieved what once seemed a distant dream. He was inaugurated as South Africa's first black president, marking the definitive end of centuries of colonial and apartheid rule. As president, Mandela faced the daunting task of uniting a polarized nation and rebuilding a country ravaged by segregation and inequality. His policies focused on reconciliation, poverty reduction, and the creation of a more inclusive society. Mandela was not just a president, he was a healer of a wounded nation, embodying the forgiveness and magnanimity necessary for true reconciliation. As we reflect on the extraordinary journey of Nelson Mandela, we see more than just a timeline of events. We see the transformation of a nation through the strength of one indomitable spirit. Mandela was not just a leader, he was a visionary who forged a path of forgiveness and unity in a land divided by centuries of inequality and strife. His legacy is not confined to the past. It is a living, breathing inspiration for all who strive for justice and peace in our world today. Mandela's life teaches us that no chain is too heavy, no wall too thick, and no regime too powerful to be overcome by the power of dignity and determined peace. Nelson Mandela once said, "It always seems impossible until it's done." Through his actions, he demonstrated that change is possible, that justice can prevail, and that we each have the capacity to contribute to a better world. What counts in life is not the mere fact that we have lived. It is what difference we have made to the lives of others that will determine the significance of the life we lead.
Thanks for watching. If you enjoyed this video, don't forget to give it a thumbs up and subscribe for more content like this. Also, if you're interested in exploring other topics, make sure to check out my other 2 channels which are linked below. I appreciate your support and I'll see you in the next video.